And the idea of them deciding they don't want to do it anymore for whatever reason, and then you presumably lose access, well, you will lose access to your games if they don't run the servers for it. I can't see Google running these servers indefinitely if the service isn't active anymore. I think it's going to be Google Stadia closing their first-party studio stuff, among other things. Alright, so yes, Google Stadia, a few days ago, 7 days ago, according to this article, has closed its internal studios. Now, if you don't know what Google Stadia is, or Stadia, I'm going to say Stadia because I'm learning Japanese and that's how you pronounce R, so I'm kind of like leaned that way now. I'm sorry, but that's just, how it's going to be. But essentially, yeah, they've closed their internal studio, and Google Stadia is a way for you to play games in your browser. We've got some videos on it on the youtube.com/theinteger. If you check it out, it shows you and tells you how to set up a free account where you'll get a free month of using the pro version of the service, and even how to set up get the free games, as well as how some of the games look. There's one video or two separate videos if you only want one or the other. Go and check that out. I'm here for you. But essentially, aside from that, and there's some features in there. What's cool about it is that and we've done a little bit of Google Stadia, and there's more videos I've got. If you guys want more coverage of Google Stadia, if you want to see me do like a comparison video of I've got 4 recordings of different versions of Doom 2016 playing on different systems, on the PC in pure form, on PC via streaming for PlayStation Now, on the PlayStation 4 downloaded, and on the Google Stadia, obviously. I might do a thing where it's can you guess which one? Because it's pretty good. It actually works pretty well, and if you are in the right circumstances for needing something like Google Stadia, it could be quite handy to have, I'd say. Now, my concern with Google Stadia has always been, if you ever heard me talk about this before, I've always had a major concern with Google Stadia, is that the idea of paying £50 for games that require you to be online, and the idea of them deciding they don't want to do it anymore for whatever reason, and then you presumably lose access, well, you will lose access to your games if they don't run the servers for it. I can't see Google running these servers indefinitely if the service isn't active anymore. So you're taking a super big risk, and I would only recommend at the moment using Google Stadia in the sense of if you're paying monthly, to just use it like you'd use PlayStation Plus or something for those kind of games that work while your subscription is active, because you already distance yourself from the idea of permanently owning those games somewhat. Now, in saying that, I've had some feedback from the community on Google Stadia that it works really excellently. I forget who it was that said it, so if it's you, give a shout out in the comments. But someone was saying that, they were playing a Cyberpunk on there. It looks great, works great, no problems, none of the bugs that a lot of people were having when it was first out and stuff. So it works really well. And I've played some stuff on there, and it works really well to me as well, and it looks really good. If you use it, there's a thing called Google Stadia Enhanced, I think it is. I've got Stadia Enhanced. I've got the version 1.8.10. That can help as well, because it can force Google Stadia to run in its 4K form. Otherwise, it looks quite nasty on a 4K display stuck at 1080p, which it can do sometimes. But running at the 4K, it looks really good actually, and it's kind of hard to tell once all the processing's happened on the videos and everything. Even at the same quality, you'll be hard pushed to tell one from the other. But yeah, that's what's going on with that. So essentially, they had a studio to make games in-house to showcase what Stadia is about, and they had Jade Raymond on the team. I'm sure you've heard of Jade Raymond, or maybe you haven't, but she was one of the first prominent females in the gaming industry to really blow up at one of the E3s and that. Who was a producer basically of Assassin's Creed and so forth. That's her most famous thing. I think she started as a programmer and what have you, so she's legitimate. And no disrespect or nothing, it's not meant to be disrespectful. But I want to mention why she made an impact as well, apart from being skilled and good at her job. Obviously, she was also, easy on the eye. Just saying.
Whoa.
So that's kind of that was a thing. There was a lot of people on there having their hands below their belly button, so to speak. But she's a talented woman. She knows her stuff. And I think it's been the second or third time that she's been involved with something that's just shut down without anything being released. So she's had a bit of a tough luck with this whole nonsense. People keep shutting down their stuff before she can get anything out since. So she's still most famous for being the producer on Assassin's Creed. By the way, guys, for any of you guys that are thinking anything, yeah, she's like, last I checked, I think she's like married like 20 kids. So don't even go there, okay? Just don't, no. Anyway, so they decided to shut it down because essentially they think it's better to focus on just helping publishers and developers integrate and put their games onto Stadia. But it's a cop-out. They say that obviously it takes a lot of money to make games and big AAA games, which is true. It takes money, it takes a lot of time. I mean, not everything takes like 8 or 9 years like a Cyberpunk, but I think 3-4 years is pretty typical now. I need some belch as well, sorry. Oh yeah, that was a good one. So yeah, that's true, but they could have, like, if you look at things like Among Us and that, they could have made something like Among Us to really kind of show what Stadia can do, right? Because Stadia, the interesting thing with Stadia is that it has a feature that links to YouTube. Features like allowing people to vote what should happen next in the game if you program it, of course, I'm saying, you integrate into your game. Things like being able to jump into the game in a queue system, if you're subscribed to a channel or whatever. Features that I think really probably shouldn't be locked into Stadia because it would be useful more for YouTube in terms of competing with Twitch even more, which we'll talk about a bit more in the last section. But it's got those features in there, and it would have been a great way to showcase how that can be utilized if they came up with something that was like an Among Us, a more kind of single A or double A version rather than triple A. And so instead of spending like 10 years and loads of money and loads of risk, they still could have used the talents of someone like Jade Raymond to produce something like that and get people working on something like that's easier or can just scale a little bit over time rather than going for big triple A stuff. So I think that would have been a better move than just closing it, which affects 150 developers, by the way. So hopefully everyone finds jobs and got a payout or something, because these aren't the best times to be, having issues with income. I can attest. So again, if you're rich, do share it with us. Get up that Patreon or what have you. Or there might even be like a support thing you can do on the Spotify or something. I don't know how that works, but do one of those things and I'll love you forever, or at least until you don't want to give a brother any more money. Then I'll just love you normal, So I think that's everything I want to say about Google Stadia, but it's pretty impressive so far. Let me know if you want more content on it or what have you. What do you guys think? Do you think that they should go with the method I was talking about, which is maybe just have gone for smaller games that don't take forever to make, but really showcase what Google Stadia is about? Something very mobile, addictive style games like an Among Us in a way. If you look at the mobile game market, a lot of the multiplayer games are very, addictive for people and dominate a lot of the viewing stuff. So like, why not just have done that and do games that style that they could get out quickly, save a whole bunch of money, and then, they would get the best of both worlds. Does this make you more worried about Stadia? It certainly does for me. And it certainly reinforces my idea of like, don't put a lot of money into this because I don't trust it. I don't know if Google's got a habit of getting rid of things if it doesn't blow up straight away, which is kind of ironic considering that's exactly what you shouldn't do if you want to get YouTube working for you. Google give up on things the way that people give up on YouTube. So don't do that. But yeah, if you put a lot of money into Google Stadia, I don't want to make you nervous. I don't want to clickbait you or anything, but I'd be a little bit worried and concerned. Just be careful. Try and stick to there's a free tier thing, but again, it's only while it's active, so just be careful. But it would have been a good idea for them to just go with the smaller Among Us style game to showcase the features that link with the YouTube that's addictive on mobile devices since it's a streaming service thing, and then that would have been better, but they kind of up. Anyway,